I remember taking a bunch of youth to a youth conference in Regina, Saskatchewan once. And after a bunch of research and kind of doing all of the prep work and stuff, we found the cheapest way to do this would be to fly from Toronto to Winnipeg and then to rent a van, a 15-passenger seat van from Winnipeg and drive there to Regina and then do the reverse coming home to drive back to Winnipeg, drop off the vehicle, and fly home. And so we gave all the parents and all the kids all the information, websites, phone numbers of finding out the information on suitcase weight and size and the size of the van. And so I could tell them, look, you have to be within these ramifications or these specifications so that we can get you on the plane and so that we can fit you in the van. And that's really important. So we just overkilled it with information and websites, like I said, and phone numbers. And they knew. Except for the fact that when we showed up at the airport, this one kid could barely carry his suitcase, let alone roll it along the ground. But I didn't say anything because mom and dad right there, they knew what was going on. And his friend was telling all his buddies, but he wasn't telling me how he got his suitcase to be so heavy. Well, no surprise, he goes up to the counter, and these guys aren't letting him on this plane. They're going, look, the size of your suitcase is fine. The weight is a problem. The weight is not even close to the specifications that are in our manuals. You can't get on this airplane. So he begins to open it up. He starts to pass things off to his friends, trying to distribute this weight. And then I saw what the problem was. He had a case of pop in his suitcase. Yeah, a case of pop in his suitcase. He had thought, his friend said in Regina they don't have cherry cola or something, so he was going to bring a whole case of cherry cola with him to Regina. And there he is off distributing this to this person, this to this person. He got to me and going, dude, my thing is full, right? I knew the specifications. I knew the weight. I knew there's no room. And so he stood there after getting one here and one there. I think he drank like 7 or 8 cans of pop just to try and get rid of it. And then finally he was able to fall into the qualifications of weight and get on the airplane. I remind myself of that story because when I read Colossians chapter 3, verses 5 to 14, that's exactly it. Christ wants to take you on a journey. Christ not only wants to save you, but empower you and lead you and guide you, reveal himself to you, bring an intimacy to your walk with God like you've never experienced before. That is real. And yet that's not going to come as we put on earthly ways and put on worldly ways and live life our way and maybe just add Jesus to it. And this is the call of Scripture. This is the call of Christ to envelop the fullness of who Christ is, to put off the earthly desires and off the worldliness and to put on the fullness of Christ, to put on compassion, humility, patience, kindness, goodness, to put on the attitude of bearing with one another and forgiving one another and put on the attitude of love. And as we seek the Lord and as we seek to walk in his ways, there is a great intimacy attached to that. There is a great awareness of his presence. There's a great leadership that Christ takes of our life as we make the commitment to put off the old ways and to put on the new self. And so, friends, my simple reminder this week is even as I'm speaking, there are probably things coming to your mind, language, attitude, thoughts, whatever is coming through your mind right now, you just know, here's what I need to work on. Here's the old nature at work in my life today. Would you do the work this week of not just I know the sin. It's one thing to name it. It's another thing to work through it. Would you commit that to prayer? Would you take somebody out, call a staff member, call me, begin to work through that? Grab some scripture passages and really pour over. Grab a book and do the work of reading through it to be able to make the choice to put off the old ways that are so blocking my intimacy with Christ and to begin to put the new self on so I can walk in the freedom and the life that Christ has called me to. Friends, let's put to death the old self and let's walk in the newness and freshness of the new self that Christ gives us. I pray you're able to do that this week. We'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday. God bless.